Hey fight fans, this is Richard Schaefer and you're watching Sporting Icons.
Okay, so Lance Pugmire, he's put out on social media that Bob Arum has stated that he, as in Top Rank, and that have nothing to do with Probellum, and they're looking to cut all ties with MTK Global. Now, when he says we, I'm presuming that he means Top Rank and ESPN. Now, I have seen the headlines. I know a lot of you have been sending me the articles and that as well, where some of the headlines are reading something along the lines of a $5 million reward for anybody who can lead to the whereabouts and the eventual arrest of Daniel Kinahan and a couple of other fellas. They're calling them the Kinahan cartel or whatever it was. Now, I haven't read the articles. It's not boxing related, so it's not really interest of me. For many of you, it will be. Many of you will know the whole backstories of what's going on, especially, of course, if you're over there in Ireland. You will know a lot more about it than what I will. A lot of you will have very, very strong opinions on it, and fair play to you. Now, I don't know what's media propaganda, what's real, what isn't. No idea, okay? In time, I'm sure we'll find out. Now, when it comes to, say, Probellum and MTK, it's the elephant in the room. Of course, we knew this way beforehand, where you've seen like a lot of fighters of MTK crossing over into Probellum. Now, I saw that as it's Probellum, new company, headed by Richard Schaefer, who, by the way, is a heck of a nice guy. Really, really nice guy. I've had a couple of good conversations with him. Really, really nice guy. And I kind of saw that as Probellum pretty much buying out MTK Global, or they're merging in some kind of way. That's how I saw it. It's not really the kind of question that I really thought to ask anybody. Because obviously I don't know Daniel Kinahan. I know the name because obviously I've seen people like Tyson Fury and Billy Joe Saunders shout out the name and things like that. But of course, I don't know him. I've never spoken a second of my life to Daniel Kinahan. In fact, he could probably walk past me in the street and I wouldn't know it's him, if I'm being brutally honest. But of course, I do know people who do know him. Some of which I believe is they know him quite well. But I've never really had the kind of conversation with them to say, what kind of guy is he? Again, it's none of my business. But although on that kind of subject, because I was filming the fights this past weekend on Friday at the Matt Jobs and Phil Jeffrey show, and between them, they were nice enough to have put my logo, Sporting Icons, on their backboards. Okay, so which looked really cool. I thought it was a really nice touch and all that kind of stuff. And some of you, because I posted that picture, said, oh, here's Sporting Icons, he's putting on shows, he's using his drug money or something to do with his gangster. I mean, what are you talking about? That show has nothing to do with anything. It really does, and nothing to do with what you're talking about. So I have no idea. No, it's not my show. It really wasn't. They just put my logo up there, which was really, really nice of them. Anyway, that said, now, why is Bob Arum doing that? What does that mean? Does that mean that he's cutting off Tyson Fury? Does that mean he's cutting off Michael Conlan and other fighters? Is that what he's saying? Is he going to cut him off literally right now? You wouldn't have thought so, especially when Tyson Fury has got this mega fight next weekend with Dillian Whyte. Bob Arum's going to want his cut of that. Believe he's going to want his cut. So if he is going to cut off Tyson Fury, it won't be till after that fight. Win, lose or draw, it ain't going to be until after that fight. This is his fifth and final fight with Top Rank and ESPN. 5-fight deal for $100 million. And according to Bob Arum, only a few months ago, they have made a huge loss on Tyson Fury, that investment. So, of course, they're going to want as much money as they possibly can from this particular event. And, of course, hopefully it all does well, right? Now, what kind of ultimatum is he going to give Tyson Fury and any of his other fighters? I'm hearing that Jose Ramirez has something to do with either Probellum or MTK. I don't know. Is he going to say to them, either you cut ties with them or we're going to cut ties with you? We want nothing to do with any of this. Because again, the headlines I've kind of seen where some headlines say drug barons, some people say murderers. And so I don't know which one it is. Maybe it's both, I have no idea. But again, when it comes to Probellum, when it comes to MTK, when it comes to boxing, which is the only thing that I'm really interested in, really, they've always treated me very, very well at the shows. They've all been very, very inviting, and I appreciate what it is that they've done for me on a personal level when it comes to boxing. Okay, they've never paid me not one penny to do a video or anything like that. There's nothing like that. But they've always been very accommodating by giving me free reign, if you like, backstage, front stage, ringside, all that kind of stuff to conduct, to do the interviews and all that kind of stuff. So, of course, I'm very appreciative. Exactly the same how I am with Boxer and Sky Sports, and previously with Matchroom and that as well. So is Bob Arum, again, Bob Arum, he's linked with Sky Sports, isn't he? He's got a UK deal with Sky Sports. So does that mean that Sky Sports, Boxer, Ben Shalom are going to cut off Probellum, going to cut off MTK? But again, is it the elephant in the room? Maybe, I don't know. But I certainly noticed that there doesn't seem to be too many Probellum fighters or MTK fighters on Sky Sports shows. There really doesn't. So maybe that's something that was already started, or maybe it's got nothing to do with it. Maybe it's just purely coincidental, because obviously they're building up their new stable, and maybe dealing with them is quite hard at the minute, because obviously they're all under managerial contracts anyway. Maybe that's got something to do with it. I don't know. Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, they put on a lot of MTK fighters. They do, like Lee Wood and that, for example. Now, is Eddie Hearn now going to cut off any fighters that has anything to do with MTK? Can fighters just cut off MTK for the time being? Because obviously they're under contract. For how long is their contract? Again, I know fighters personally who are very good friends of mine who do have MTK as their managerial company, if you like. A lot of fighters that I know are under contract with Probellum and things like that. So it's very difficult to say. Very, very difficult to say. Is Bob Arum right to do this? Is he just nervous that something may go wrong? He doesn't want Top Rank and, of course, his own name being dragged through what is seen as a very, very big deal. Because obviously, if somebody in America, I don't know who that somebody is, the Senates and whatever, I don't know, are putting out a $5 million reward, obviously very serious, right? Very, very serious. He doesn't want to be linked with any of that. As I said before, a lot of you will have far more of an idea about it than what I will. Listen, believe me or don't believe me, I really couldn't care less. But I don't know anything about the backstory. All I know is what people are saying, like many of you in the comment section. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Does this mean that he's now cutting off Tyson Fury? Because Tyson Fury has openly said before that Daniel Kinahan is one of his good friends and things like that. Is he cutting him off now? Is Tyson Fury going to choose business over a friendship? I don't know. Again, we know that there were certain issues before with Daniel Kinahan making certain fights where Tyson Fury kind of had to choose or something like that. I think it was around about when he was negotiating with Anthony Joshua, if I remember rightly. Again, I could be totally way off on that. I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. How serious is he going to get? What kind of role does Kinahan or the Kinahan family have to do with Probellum? Have to do with MTK Global? Do they own them? Do they just have a share in the company? Are they just employed by them as an advisor? People have spoken about money laundering, all this kind of stuff. Again, I have absolutely no clue about that. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see. That's Bob Arum's statement. They have and are going to have nothing to do with Probellum, and they're looking to cut all ties with MTK Global. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video.